My name is Faarah, and if you've ever had a sibling, you'll know exactly what I'm about to talk about. Life with a sister is never boring, especially when you're the younger one like me. I have a sister named Halimo. She's older, sneakier, and somehow always knows what I'm thinking before I even say it. Having a sister means you always have someone to blame or battle. Sometimes it feels like we're secret agents on opposite sides, always plotting our next move. Our biggest problem? The TV remote. It's not just a gadget, it's the key to ultimate power in our house. Whoever holds it rules the living room. You get to pick the shows, control the volume, and basically become the king or queen of the couch. I take my channel surfing duties seriously, which is why Halimo is always plotting to steal it. She's a master of sneaky tactics and surprise attacks. Today, I was ready for Captain Crater's Cosmic Quest, my absolute favorite show. I'd been waiting all week for this episode. Just as the theme song started, Halimo appeared, silent and staring. She had that look in her eyes, the one that meant trouble. She tried her classic move, weaponized cuteness. Big eyes, sweet smile, the whole act. I wasn't fooled, not this time. I ignored her, but she started humming the Princess Petunia theme song, her favorite and my least favorite. It was psychological warfare at its finest. I gripped the remote tighter, determined not to give in. My knuckles turned white as I braced for her next move. This was a battle of wills, a silent showdown where neither of us dared to blink. Suddenly, she tripped onto the couch, her hand landing on mine. A sneak attack. She's got moves like a ninja when she wants something. In the chaos, her fingers wrapped around the remote. The battle was on, and neither of us was letting go. We wrestled, a tangle of arms and legs, fighting for the plastic rectangle of power. Pillows flew, and the couch shook beneath us. It was like a nature documentary, but with cartoons at stake. If only someone could narrate our struggle in a dramatic voice. Sibling rivalry at its finest. This was the stuff of legends, the kind of story you tell your friends at school. The struggle was real, and neither of us was backing down. We were both stubborn, and the remote was the ultimate prize. The fate of the living room and our favorite shows hung in the balance. This was war, and the outcome would decide what we watched for the rest of the day. And it was just getting started. In our house, the great remote control war was far from over. After losing the remote, she's stronger than she looks, I retreated to work on my comic, The Adventures of Super Faarah. It was my favorite pastime, a world where I could control everything, unlike the chaos around me. I needed my special 64-color crayon set, but they were gone. My heart sank as I stared at the empty box, a void where my creativity used to be. I searched everywhere, desk, bed, closet, nothing. Only one suspect, Halimo. She had a knack for taking my things. She always wants my crayons, even though she has her own. It's like she thinks mine are somehow better, more magical. I imagined her using my precious cadet blue on a Princess Petunia coloring book. The horror. My mind raced with images of my beloved colors being wasted. I stormed into the living room, determination fueling my every step. Halimo was watching her show, remote beside her like a trophy. She looked so smug, so unaware of the storm brewing. "Halimo, where are my crayons?" I demanded, my voice shaking with a mix of anger and desperation.
"What crayons?" she replied, feigning innocence.
She played innocent, but I wasn't buying it. But I'd seen electric lime on her finger earlier. The evidence was clear. I was the detective, the prosecutor, and the judge. My mind was set on solving this mystery. Justice for my crayons would be served. The case was building. I could almost hear the gavel. I was ready for a showdown. This was going to be epic. This was about more than crayons. It was about respect. She needed to understand boundaries. The living room was about to become a courtroom. The stakes were high, and I was ready to win. Or so I thought. Little did I know this was just the beginning of the crayon catastrophe. That's it! First the remote, now my crayons. Don't play dumb, Halimo. I know you took them.
"I did not. You probably lost them, like always."
You're just jealous of my drawing skills.
"Jealous? My ponies are way better than your space guys." We hurled insults. Remote control hog, messy room monster. The living room was a volcano of sibling rage. Suddenly, Somali appeared, arms crossed, eyebrow raised.
Faarah? Halimo? What is all this noise? We froze. The eruption stopped. The showdown was over. Now came the consequences, and somehow that was scarier than the fight.
Somali didn't yell. Instead, she pointed to the couch.
Sit! We sat, a chasm of silence between us. Somali looked like a professional negotiator. Faarah, tell me what happened.
It started with the remote, then my crayons went missing. I think Halimo took them.
Halimo, your side?
I just wanted to watch my show. He never shares the remote. I didn't take his crayons. Somali listened, nodding. The room was quiet, but it wasn't angry anymore. Somali had both sides. Now the real investigation would begin. Maybe I wasn't being totally fair about the remote, but the crayon still mattered.
Faarah, are you sure you didn't just misplace your crayons?
My mind raced. Yesterday, I'd organized my room maybe too well. Somali suggested I check again. I searched my closet behind a pile of comics. There they were, my crayons. Guilt hit me hard. I'd accused Halimo, but it was my own mess. I walked back holding the crayon box. Halimo looked at me, not smug, just sad.
Looks like we found the missing crayons. Faarah?
All my anger was gone, replaced by regret. I'd started this whole fight. The crayon catastrophe was my fault. I had to make it right, and that was even harder than admitting I was wrong. I looked at Halimo, who stared at her shoes. The room was silent, heavy with the weight of what had just happened. Neither of us knew what to say at first, and the quiet felt endless, stretching between us like a wall.
Halimo? I found my crayons. In my closet. You didn't take them. I was wrong. I jumped to conclusions and blamed you without really thinking. I should have checked before accusing you. The TV played a soft, sad piano melody. Perfect apology music. It filled the room, making everything feel a little gentler, as if the music itself was encouraging us to be honest and kind. I'm sorry I yelled and called you a thief. That wasn't fair. I let my frustration get the better of me, and I hurt your feelings. I wish I could take back my words. Halimo looked up, her sadness fading. Her eyes met mine, and I could see a glimmer of hope, like maybe things could be okay again between us.
I'm sorry I grabbed the remote. I should have asked. I didn't mean to make things worse, and I know I can be impatient sometimes.
I realized I'd been a remote control hog too. The music swelled, wrapping around us like a warm blanket. We both apologized, letting go of our stubbornness and pride. It wasn't just my fault or hers, it was ours. We both made mistakes, and we both wanted to make things right. We were a team, even when we fought. That's what siblings do. They mess up, but they also forgive. And now, we were a team trying to fix things. We started to talk about how we could do better next time, promising to listen more and jump to conclusions less. The symphony of sorry played on. We both felt lighter, as if a burden had been lifted from our hearts. And maybe, just maybe, a little closer. Apologies can be hard, but they can also bring us back together. Somali smiled proud.
It takes a big person to admit they're wrong, and an even bigger one to forgive. I felt 10 feet tall.
So, are we good?
But we needed to make it official. I put the crayon box down and stuck out my hand.
Truce? Halimo smiled and shook my hand. A handshake of equals. The war was over. Peace at last. I let Halimo have the remote. She picked Princess Petunia, and I watched with her. Maybe having a sister isn't so bad. If you remember to talk, check your closet and share the remote. At least until the next battle.